So I came back from a home visit recently, and a mother had been told to wait until her breasts feel full and heavy before feeding her baby. She was told that this ensures that he will get the richest milk. But now her baby's crying more, seems hungrier, her breasts are hurting, and so she called me to come check her out and see what was happening. This poor mama. There's so many moms that I end up going to see that I just wish I had been able to get to them sooner, because they have been silently suffering at home in so much pain because they're doing the things that people are telling them to do, and it's actually terrible advice. Welcome back to our final video in this series for now, because I'm sure I'll have a lot more to give you. But it is about the top 4 tips that mothers have been given about breastfeeding that actually ends up making their supply drop, giving them painful breast, helping their babies lose weight. And it's advice that I really think is it's given in the hopes of helping, and it's given because these moms experience this and they're just sharing knowledge, or even it's healthcare providers telling these moms these things. It ends up causing these mothers so much pain. So let's talk about what to do instead. So today we're going to break down one of the most supply-destroying pieces of advice given to mothers waiting for breast fullness before feeding, and what to do instead. I'm Jess. I'm a board-certified lactation consultant and a postpartum specialist, and I've worked with mothers who were told that full, firm breast is actually going to give their baby better milk, and that feeding before this point will give the baby watery milk, and that's not going to satisfy them. This advice, it fundamentally misunderstands how milk production works, and it goes against everything that we know about maintaining supply. Your breasts aren't storage tanks that need to fill up. They're actually production centers that need to be regularly emptied, and they work best when we're constantly and frequently emptying them. When you wait for fullness, you're literally training your body to make less milk. So here's what happens when we wait for our breasts to get full before we feed our baby. Our supply drops rapidly. The longer milk sits in our breast, the stronger the signal is to your body that you need to slow down production. Use your energy elsewhere, my friend. You don't need to be making so much milk. But that's not the message we want to send them. We want milk, right? We also will have painful complications. Over full breast leads to engorgement. It leads to plugged ducts, increased mastitis risk, and we do not want to reach mastitis. Plugged ducts are painful enough. We also have a hungry and a fussy baby. By the time our breasts are full, our baby usually has already been hungry for quite a while, and this is when they get to crying and screaming, and they're fussy, and we can't calm them, and then it makes feeding even more difficult. Why does this happen? Why are moms told to wait? It seems to stem from an outdated understanding of milk production and composition. So some providers still believe that foremilk and hindmilk are totally separate types of milk, and our breasts only have one type at different times. And I'm going to break this down a little bit more. But research, and that one is less valuable. That's a big one too. Research is showing that milk always contains both foremilk and hindmilk, and that it changes constantly throughout the feed and throughout the day. But let's break this down a little bit more. Our milk is primarily made up of 2 big categories, and I'm simplifying it, right? There's foremilk and there's hindmilk. Our milk always has both at all times. Foremilk contains the same nutrients as hindmilk, but in different proportions. It's higher in water, it's higher in sugars, tends to have more lactose. It's that bluish, clearish, watery-ish looking milk that comes out in the beginning of the feed. The foremilk is really important for energy, hydration. It's got the sugars in it, right? We want our babies to have some foremilk. Hindmilk has calories and fats, which is important for weight gain and energy and fullness as well. So if a baby gets a lot of foremilk, which happens when we have an oversupply or a very strong letdown, or we time our feeds and we do 10 minutes on this side and then 10 minutes on that side, and then you're done eating, baby, they'll get more foremilk. This is what leads to gas pains, because that sugar and the lactose doesn't get a chance to break down, and it leads to gas. Waiting for our breasts to fill up, it's not going to lead to more hindmilk. It's going to lead to engorgement, and it's going to lead to a lower milk supply. So what do? We feed our baby when they show us their hunger cues. When they are licking their lips or turning their heads, we respond to them. When our breasts start to feel tight and full, we get that milk out. Whether through pumping or hand expressing or the haka, anyway, you just get it out. And if you breastfeed your baby and you're still feeling full afterwards, pump it out, get it out. Now, we talked in the last video about the 3-hour rule and like keeping babies on a schedule. And that rule is not to keep them on a schedule because that can be harmful, but because they're not ready for that yet. They don't have an internal schedule just yet, but they will get one. We don't want more than 3 hours to pass without a feed in the first few weeks because it protects our body from low milk supply and it protects our babies from losing weight. But we want to feed our baby on demand. And we want to treat one breast like it's the meal and the other is dessert. That means we spend most of the time breastfeeding on one side during this feed, and then when our baby seems to be getting a little bit full, we'll switch them to this side and let them nurse a little bit on this. But this one tends to feel more full now, so we know, okay, the next feed I'm going to start on this side. This lets our baby tap into more of a balanced ratio of the foremilk and the hind milk. Our breasts work best when they're being regularly used, not when we're waiting for them to fill them up. So if you're familiar with this tip, I'm sorry that it was told to you because don't wait, don't listen to that. What should we do instead? You can sign up for a free mini course that I made of the 5 biggest mistakes we make when we're trying to boost our milk supply and what to do instead. It's in the link down below. Hope it helps. Love ya. See ya, pizza.